Say that first question again.
How did you feel when you saw it escalate? When you saw it go from...
I called it. He'll tell you himself. I called it. Like, when I heard the officer stop resisting, and, you know, it's nighttime. Like, we just pulled up. We weren't in the lot maybe 3 minutes before all this occurred. And I just heard all the tussling and stop resisting, stop fighting. I just said, this man finna kill this man out here. I ain't know what color he was or nothing. Like, we was the last car in line, and the situation occurred up there first before he started running toward our vehicle. And when I seen him running, I heard the tasers or whatever. Then when I heard them shots, my first reaction was to duck. I was up under the seat, in the back seat, ducking. I ain't see nothing till we was off the lot, you know. I ain't see none of it. I was down. I was, you know, trying to duck away. So I don't know about the other stuff, yeah.
When the bullet hit the car, did you think you might have been shot?
We didn't know the bullet hit the car till we left. I smelled gun smoke. I was back there smelling gun smoke. I don't know if it was the fiberglass from the vehicle, but I smelled gun smoke while I was down the whole time. So, I mean, that whole situation just was terrible to me. Like, I ain't expected. I promise that was the last thing I expected.
Any other questions?
Were you the only two in the car?
Nah, it was me, him, and his girl. His girl was in the front seat. I was in the back seat on the passenger side. And this was what actually the vehicle got shot on the side where I was at. I didn't know that till we got back to where we was going, because our whole purpose was down here for some music stuff. Like, this is why we come here, to try to do music, you know, but we ain't even get to do that. After this situation happened, it just, everything went left the whole trip. Like, we weren't even in the city long.
Did you see the officers try to render any aid to him?
No, I ain't even see that. I was down, like, after that first couple shots, that first shot, maybe the first shot I ducked. After that, I didn't see nothing else. I'm hearing screaming in the car from his girl. Then I heard him say, man, he dead. Because I guess he seen the body. I didn't see the body. I was still down. Like, I ain't know where the bullet come from or nothing. I ain't know. No, my first reaction was just to duck. I didn't try to raise up, bring no camera phone out at the moment. I ain't do none of that, because that wasn't my first reaction. My instinct just told me, look, get down, man. Don't get back up till everything ceased and we safe.
You say you see this all the time in Memphis. Have you ever seen anybody killed before?
Yes, ma'am. Not an officer killed a black man, but, I mean, murders happen like water in Memphis. Like, Memphis tough. And for us to come here, where we trying to conquer our dreams and, you know, try to get away from the negativity. Like, anybody in Memphis will tell you Atlanta is, we look up to Atlanta, we salute Atlanta. And for us to go through that, it just kind of, it made me feel some type of weight in that timing. Like, I ain't expect, this the last thing I expected, man, I promise.
So I'm sure you knew all about the George Floyd situation while you were sitting in that drive-thru. Once you saw the officer shoot, or at least you saw it and then you ducked, what did you think about the force that he used?
I just thought it wasn't necessary. If he had a taser, why not have a taser fight? You know, like, this might not have no armed weapon or nothing that's gonna kill you or hurt you or harm you. You already shot the taser twice. Like, it wasn't nothing else left for the taser to do, really. So I feel like it was awful. Like, this whole situation just was awful. I ain't never seen this, witnessed this a day in my life. I'm 35 years old. I never seen this.
And as a black man in America, with everything going on, how do you feel? Do you feel safe here?
Oh, yeah, I feel safe, you know, because we was ducked off anyway. We just decided to leave our studio to go get some food.
Will you feel safe if you encounter the police in the future?
Oh, nah. I don't feel safe going back home, because we got to travel through Alabama, we got to travel through Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee. These the biggest, you know, cities of that. So I'm kind of trampled back, because we got to go back home, you know.
You said you didn't record video on your cell phone to anybody in the
I
car?
recorded the video after we left the lot. The instinct didn't tell me, oh, let me catch this person shooting this man, like right there. I thought about that once we was off the lot and the police started pulling up. This one I pulled out my camera and just caught the last minute. I didn't catch the actual, because that wasn't on my mind at the time.
Anybody in the car?
Yeah, nobody caught video during the incident. As you can imagine, their number one priority at that point was their own safety and their life. They took video afterwards, and that video has been provided to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. So if anybody wants to see that, they have to go through them.
Question for you. This is a scene that we've seen play out multiple times over the years, right? Something everybody's talking about now. It's gotten a lot of attention. As a black man, you said you never saw an officer, a white officer, shoot a black man before in person. As a black man, you've now seen that. What are your thoughts? How do you feel now experiencing this?
I mean, it's so normal today. It just happened in different cities. It's just, it's kind of, I don't know if they're trying to make us get used to it or what, but it's kind of like, it's something normal now. Like, it happen every day now in different cities. Like, this is the first time that I heard it happen in Atlanta, like me personally. But I done heard it in Houston. I done heard it in other states and stuff like that. I just didn't know I was gonna come and witness it myself. Like, I wasn't even here for a brief moment. We just literally got here. So that wasn't even in my mind. I just come to handle my business and go back to the house. And
do you think is there ever going to be a go back to normal for you? Or are you forever changed?
I feel like I am, sir. Like, this all me and he be talking about, like, off cameras. Like, I didn't ask for that. Like, I'm not here for the exposure. I'm just here for justice, to get justice from the family and tell the truth of me being a witness. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here for all the extra stuff, like, for real.
Michael, can you expand upon the fact that you actually were more than a witness that night? You could have been a possible victim. At what point did you realize that the car had been hit? And what are your feelings knowing that being an innocent bystander, just going to Wendy's that night for food, you could have been the victim of a police shooting?
It's really, when I thought about it, my mother really made me think about it, because she concerned about me being here. Like, I'm my mama only child, so you can just imagine how she feels. Like, this what really bothers me. Like, when I get texts and calls, I'm praying for you, and like, I want you to be happy for me because I'm standing up trying to get justice. Now, when you start praying for me, that's when I get nervous. Because I'm like, why is you praying for me now? Like, I'm doing something right. Like, this what I call. I was at work when I got called and had to take off 2-3 days to come get justice. And I didn't ask for that.
Did you know the car had been hit while you were in the car? When did you realize?
We realized that when we got back to the studio. And we, you know what I'm saying, everybody getting out. And he just bought that vehicle, like, recently. He know how his vehicle look. He's like, what's that? And when we went back to the videos and stuff, they said he got hit 2 times. We heard 3 shots. So this what made us say the 3rd shot in that car, man.
What kind of car is it?
It's a Trailblazer, white Trailblazer.
What was your reaction to yesterday's charges? Do you feel like the charges were appropriate?
I feel like justice is justice. Like, if he killed a man that's running away from you, let me kill somebody right now running away from me. I'm getting the full strength. So if he don't get the full strength, he can at least get half of it. You know, he killed somebody. This somebody, he's somebody's dad, somebody's husband, somebody love him. Like, regardless of how that officer felt about him or whatever, he was a man, he was a citizen somewhere. He wasn't here from my understanding. He was from somewhere else visiting here.
Can you talk a little bit about your willingness to testify at trial?
I would just tell you, we're going to follow his responsibility as a citizen, but we're going to allow the district attorney to tell us when and where, or determine whether it's even necessary for him to testify at trial. That's not something that we determine. We let the criminal process work itself out. I would take one more question.
I just have a clarifying question. Earlier you said you heard the cops shout, "Stop resisting," and then did you say you called it as in, you know, that's what you thought would come out?
I mean, it's just what I felt like. that was gonna happen, because this what's been happening lately. These cops been killing people. So I'm like, okay, they wrestling with this man, and the cops telling him stop fighting, start resisting. This my only, I'm back there just really saying something, but I didn't know what was gonna happen. I'm like, they finna kill this. I'm trying to laugh it off, but it actually happened. So that what really messed me up. I'm like, dang, I started ducking. I ain't see nothing else. They asked me what I see after the fact. I didn't see nothing but the flow. That's it. Like, I wasn't trying to get no footages, none of that, until I thought about it, and it was after we left the scene.
Thank you.
Attorney Williams. Can you just kind of clarify for us? Are they rappers, or what are they doing in the studio? Explain that.
Yeah, they have a rap group. I let Melvin, you want to come talk about what you do and what brought you, and hopefully they'll put me on a single with them.
Well, basically, we was down here for a video shoot with Pastor Troy. I know everybody familiar with Pastor Troy. We had a video shoot, and that was basically why we came down here for a video shoot. He go by Mike Peasy, I go by Two Turn Jizzle. Yep.
Mike Peasy?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you spell that for me?
MikePeezy.
When did you guys get it down?
Right.
Yeah, I got one question with him since he came up. It's been hard for him. It's been hard. He's been doing his best to give out information, but this is difficult, and so it's emotional. But if you got anything to say, just go ahead and say it.
I got a question for you. Can you please, since you were in the driver's seat, I'm just hoping you were looking, can you tell us what you saw after the shots? Did you see them kick him? Did you see someone standing on his shoulders? And did you see anybody try to render any aid?
What I saw that they went and handcuffed. After that, we left. We was getting off the parking lot.
They handcuffed him while he was on the ground.
Yep.
You said they handcuffed Mr. Brooks?
That's what I saw. I don't know if they was over there by him. When we pulled up the lot, they was over there by him.
What was your instinct when you heard those gunshots in the driver's seat? Was it to leave, stay? What were you thinking?
He said, pull off the, we in the truck fussing at each other. It really wasn't no fussing, but he was like, man, let's go, man, pull off. I'm like, man, I'm not finna go nowhere with this man with this gun in his hand. I ain't finna go nowhere. They right there by us. We already nervous, shocked, all that. And I probably would have ran over them. They was that close. They probably would have thought, that we was gonna use the vehicle to hit them or something. But in 5 shots at us, I said, we ain't going nowhere. Until I seen him put that gun up and go do what he do.
So how did you eventually get off of the lot?
We bagged up away from around them and just pulled out.
Are you going to rap about this?
Right now, I don't even really want to talk about it right now. Like, I'm devastated.
Thanks everybody for your coming today, and once again, we just send our prayers out to the Brooks family. Thank you.
So we've just been listening to 2 witnesses who were in the Wendy's parking lot when Rayshard Brooks was shot. One witness says that he was in his car. He had left to get some food, and found out afterwards when he sort of left the area that he had a bullet hole in his car. So they are just talking about how shocked they were, how close, in fact, they came to possibly being caught in the shooting themselves. Just to give you guys a little bit of an update, a second police officer associated with this incident has turned himself in. Officer Devin Bronson is facing a number of charges, including aggravated assault. The other officer, the officer that did the shooting, Garrett Rolfe, facing 11 different charges, including a murder charge. He has already turned himself in, but now Devin Bronson, we have learned from his attorney, has turned himself in as well. Now we're going to pivot back over to New York, where Governor Andrew Cuomo is speaking. Let's dip into that.
That's right. So then we go back to the tracing function, which is up and running. Go trace the positives and see if they lead us to anything. They did. In central New York, Oswego, there is an apple manufacturing plant where they take apples and they process apples for sale. And there is a cluster of cases in that apple manufacturing plant, about 34 positives in one plant. That's bad news, but it's also good news. That's the way this is supposed to work. You see an increase in the numbers, you trace the increase. Does it lead anywhere? Were they at the same party? Are they at the same employer? Were they at the same protest? In Oswego, they were working in the same plant. Get to that plant, address it. But other than that, all the numbers have been good. New York City, you see by borough, we can look at the numbers, and it's all been good. Lowest number of hospitalizations since we started. Amen. Number of deaths ticked up a little bit, but the overall curve is the lowest we have seen. So it is all good news all across the board. Our New York City reopening, the way we do this, the way we've done it in every region across the state, is we compile all the data. When we get near the end of that phase, we have state officials review it, and we then have global experts review that data to make sure there's nothing in the data that we're missing. And we don't look at just the top line data that I show you. Not that you are not public health experts, also and statisticians and scientists, and you would be able to see things in the data. I believe that about you, Andrew, not Zach. We have global experts who look at the data, and when they sign off, then I sign off. I do not sign off until they sign off. So they're reviewing the New York City data. It's supposed to go on Monday. They'll watch it Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They're studying it now. But all the indications are good. So I'm saying today, you'll get a final announcement tomorrow. But I am saying businesses should plan on reopening. We just had a call this morning where we went over the New York City data, and everybody's feeling good. So my advice to New York City businesses, plan to reopen Monday on phase 2. Now, phase 2 is